Hello! Welcome to Cape Talk with Kristie. I'm Kristie Stumpf Rork from the Cape Vincent Chamber of Commerce. Today, my guest is Kevin and Bonnie Denecki. They are the owners of DenFit Personal Fitness. Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I'm going to ask them to tell us a little bit about what they offer.
So Bonnie and I are trainers. This is DenFit Personal Training. We offer personal fitness, physical fitness to a variety of age groups and fitness levels right here in the Cape in a private studio. All fitness levels welcome, and so that's kind of it, what we do in a nutshell.
Do you offer classes 7 days a week?
No, but we do provide small group training. Typically 2 to 3 people at most, while here we do hold classes in the community elsewhere like the rec park, but we do train here 6 days a week from Monday through Saturday. So we'll have either one-on-one or one-on small group.
Can you give us an example of what one of your classes would entail?
Well, it's a variety of like circuit training stations, depending on a person's fitness level or a small group fitness level. Will kind of depend and dictate what we do in the class. But typically, we use like a circuit format or like a small group kind of station format. One-on-one, it's up to the imagination of the person's fitness level. So one-on-one, we really try to cater to the individual while giving appropriate challenges that will help the person succeed, whatever their goal is. So that looks like in a variety of ways. So that's kind of typically what we do between the individual and the small group.
I've noticed that DenFit has really become ingrained in the Cape Vincent community. Can you explain to us how DenFit has helped Cape Vincent? I've noticed there's a lot of community members, some very old, that have become members of Cape Vincent.
Yes. So
members of DenFit.
Yes.
Word of mouth has been our biggest ally.
Yeah.
Really, it's been fantastic. We kind of started it not knowing who was going to show up or be interested. And when Kevin originally started this, he was thinking, "Oh, I'm going to train athletes more that way." And we've definitely had a handful of them, but as the business went on, we noticed the need in the community for a lot of the older folks who just want mobility, stability, a little bit of strength, balance, things like that. And so you're right, there has been a good amount of older folks that have really benefited from those one-on-one sessions.
Yes, it was a pretty substantial pivot. My initial, pen and paper game plan to the realities and the application of said game plan. I participate in obstacle racing. I have for the past 11 years. And when I first set out, I was thinking, I want to be a destination training location, but that I would be foolish and when there's a community out there that is in need of me to be so kind of, tunnel visioned and single track minded. So, it was a pretty tough pivot at first, but as time has gone on, that I feel like we'd rather fulfill a need in the community rather than kind of shoehorn people into our own ideology. And that's kind of how we present ourselves here at DenFit, is that we don't expect people to, fit themselves into our way of thinking. We try to expand ourselves and pull from a variety of different fitness disciplines to try to accommodate the individual.
And it's been very rewarding for the two of us to help people who have a genuine need. When you see the look on someone's face when they accomplish something that they don't think they could do, or you see an older person gain confidence in even walking upstairs or things like that, that's extremely rewarding.
Yep.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, you mentioned obstacle courses and the such. How long have you been involved in physical training?
It's been, I always say it like this, it's been a vocation, and it's not just a job for me. I've always been involved with physical fitness ever since I was a kid. And it was actually talking.
I was a little later in the game.
I know I've been a trainer for 10 years now, 11 years?
Longer. 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was kind of an aha moment. People, because it was always a crucial or a keystone part of my life, I found that people kept on asking me for advice or asking me for tips, and I had an aha moment talking to my mother-in-law. She was asking me a question one day, and I was like, why am I not getting paid for this? Like, so it became, it's a huge love of mine, and it's always been a centerpiece in my life. And it was just how do I make this into a living? How do I make this my vocation?
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. When you do these obstacle courses, how do you train for them?
It really depends on the length. If it's your average just 5K, 10K, your basic level of physical fitness would suffice. It's more about having fun. My more competitive bracket is a little bit longer than that, distance-wise and time-wise. So it's usually just suffering for a long time. Think of the most, I guess, grueling but safest way to suffer, and do that over and over again, because that's kind of what the races are like. No, but in seriousness, longer runs, lots of carrying. So, to kind of side note it, like I teach an SGX class, which means a Spartan SGX class. I'm a Spartan race coach. And the foundation of that class are the 4 C's: cardio, carries, climbing, and crawling. So in preparing for a more competitive race, I do those four key elements there.
So, Bonnie, have you done one of these races before?
I've done yes, a handful. I've done a handful of what I call appropriate length races. So I think the longest one I've done was 12.5 miles, which was like the Tough Mudder was my first race ever. I think it was intense. But those are like for sane people that want to try things. So I haven't done them in a while, but this one right here, his cup of tea is 24-hour races. That's what he loves. So he's out there on the course for 24 hours, completing as many laps as he can. That, no interest in. Nope, more power to him, but I'm good with the same races.
Yeah.
I love that this is a husband and wife team. Do your children get involved as well?
Not as much as we would like.
Embarrassingly, no.
Luckily, they're probably not going to see this because they're in school. So.
Or if they did, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, my parents are so cringe. I'm turning this off."
They don't think we're as cool.
Our kids are your average teenagers, and anything we do or say,
cringe.
Is cringe.
Pretty much. Our son is reaching that age. He's 16. He's the one that will join us in the gym. Our daughter, she ice skated for a long time, so she got her athletic outlet that way. But other than that, she wants.
They're athletic and coordinated, and and they find their own path. And we kind of encourage them to, again, stay physically active, but in their own ways. Whether that's take a walk to the water, like our daughter ice skated for the Clayton Figure Skating Club for several years. Like Bonnie said, our son comes out and enjoys being with us and kind of learning the ins and outs, but it's kind of at their own pace.
When they were kids, there was a couple children's races, so a lot of times like Tough Mudder will put on their race, and there'll be a children's race that runs as well. And so they've done a couple of those, but I think that stopped about age 10.
Yeah.
So.
That's fantastic. Now, I know, Kevin, that you have, you're very involved in a race that's coming up in Turin, New York. Can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
I'd be happy to. So the local mud run here is called Tug Mud Dare. It's taking place on May 21st. So I believe it kicks off, first wave is around 11 a.m. But that's your typical like couch to 5K entry level race that's going to appeal to a wide variety of fitness levels and skill levels. If you are, it's kind of geared towards the person who was originally on the fence and says, hey, this looks like fun, but I don't think I can do it. This is the race for you. And when I say race, I should really say event, because it's more of an adventure run. It's great to do with friends. It's all about the camaraderie and just having a good time, but being physically active out in nature.
There's no penalty for not completing obstacles, so you can take it at your pace and just do what you can do,
right,
and have fun. And also, like we were mentioning, kids races, there is a kids race running with it as well.
Yep.
So if you have kids that want to do it, maybe you don't want to take the jump, but you want your kids to do something.
Yeah, and this year we're going bigger and better, so it's great. I mean, they've been successful for the past 5 years, 6 years. I should know this. But this year they brought me on as a consultant, and it's turned into I'm kind of designing the course and kind of laying it out for everyone. So it's really geared, again, towards the person who wanted to try it for the first time. There's going to be a lot of elements in this event that you would find at a bigger race, or a big box race, like something like Spartan or Tough Mudder. And if you have any familiarity with those races, you'd have a really good indication or a really good feel of what you could expect should you go run. So this is really, it's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of my previous experiences. I worked on both sides of the start line for, in and out of the past 11 years. I worked for a company back in 2016, building courses, marshaling the course, directing the course. I've been an event director. So it's been great and been a huge honor that the Snow Ridge people have brought me on, because it's a true passion of mine. I feel like I can finally kind of like come alive. So no, I really try to pour my heart and soul into it, and hopefully the people that participate, they'll feel that.
Fantastic.
And I'll be manning the DenFit tent, so come say hi if you show up.
Yep.
That's right. If somebody wants to get involved, how would they get involved in that?
So you can go to well, first and foremost, Snow Ridge Ski Resort. I believe it's snowridgeskiresort.com or snowridge.com. A quick search in Facebook, Tug Mud Dare, will populate the search with either the event page or the actual Facebook page. You can find links at DenFit Personal Training on Facebook. So a variety of ways to get involved through those portals.
Fantastic. Now, you just mentioned DenFit. If somebody was interested in DenFit, how do they get involved, and how do they get in touch with you and Bonnie?
So the best way to get in touch with us would be to either call or text my number, but they're more than welcome to visit our website, which is denfittraining.com. We have DenFit Personal Training on Facebook. If you just look for the blue and orange DenFit, that's us. As you see in the back here. But the best way is to either call or text. From there, what we do is we schedule a consult. So that way you can come here, you can see the studio, you can meet us personally, and just see if it's a good fit. I always say I'd rather have someone here come here, check us out, vet the studio before signing on any dotted line. I want people confident and comfortable with us and the facility to make sure that they see it as a resource to them to reach their goals. So that's the best way. Give us a call, give us a text, and then we actually meet in person, which is free consult. We just kind of talk about exercise history, personal goals, concerns. That's a big one, especially around here. Hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder surgeries. They're not uncommon. They're pretty par for the course. So we talk about those and we take those into account.
Fantastic. I want to know if anybody out there has any questions for Kevin or Bonnie. Kind of looking back and forth between my laptop and the computer. Laptop and the computer. Does anybody have any questions for either of them? I think it's fantastic that with the husband and wife team, you have both the male and the female perspective. I know sometimes people aren't comfortable with either the male or if you're a female and you don't want the male instructing you.
Yeah.
Right.
You have Bonnie. So I think that's fantastic.
Although I will say, Kevin, it's a running joke that he teases me. I'm the tougher trainer, so looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's nicer than you think he is.
Yeah, I'll go away to an event and I'll compete and I'll come back and there's mini coups being staged left and right, because I'll come back to my clients that Bonnie had covered for me and everyone looks at me like I'm a joke.
Right.
Like, what happened here?
Look, I got to give them their money's worth, you know.
But no, to touch upon that, that's an important element, and
Yeah.
that's why I want to encourage people who have seen me around or have seen the things or the ways that we train here for us individually or for us personally. There's I guess a misconception into what people or how people might feel that they need to be at to come here. They feel like they may need to be at a certain level, which is absolutely not the case. The vision for DenFit was to provide a private place for people to not only get fit, but to learn. So the one thing that I did notice throughout being a gym rat a lot of my life was the uncomfortable uncertainty of the person walking into the gym for the first time. Mm-hmm. What do I do? Where do I go? And there I could see the look in their eyes of I'm uncertain, and then they leave and never come back. Mm-hmm. So not only did they not get their training in, but now they've kind of put themselves behind the curve in the fact that they're not wanting to do that again because it made them feel uncomfortable. So DenFit was a place to provide that private, I hate the phrase, but safe space, but it really truly is to learn what to do, to learn how to lift. We are as much about education as we are about fitness here. Mm-hmm. So we want to teach you how to move, we want to teach you how to lift, so that say you go away or say that you move away, you have that base knowledge of what to do if you were to go to a big box gym, that you wouldn't feel so lost or a fish out of water. You would have the knowledge and the self-awareness and movement-wise to feel good. I mean, we want to set people up for success ultimately no matter what they do. So essentially, if we're doing our job right, we're working ourselves out of a job.
Yes.
We want people to move safely, regardless and independently of us. Sure, we want them to come back, absolutely. We have a wide array of experience and knowledge, but there are certain cornerstones of life and movement and fitness that we want to instill into people. So that's kind of what we do.
That's fantastic. It really is. It's really fantastic. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever for Bonnie or Kevin or both? I haven't seen any questions pop up here. Yes, absolutely, Becky. I totally agree with you. They are a fantastic team. But that's not a question.
Thank you.
What is a fantastic?
Can you form that in a question? Does anybody else have any questions for Bonnie and Kevin? I would love to ask these two wonderful people some questions.
We talk about DenFit all the time, so we probably already
right? They're like, geez,
we're
you guys
peddling our wares all over
these
town.
guys won't shut up. They've answered questions 10 times over by now.
Well, if nobody else has any questions, I want to thank Bonnie and Kevin
Thank
for
you.
your time. It's been a pleasure. And once again, thank you everyone for joining us today on Cape Talk with Kristie. Join us again next week at 11:45 on Facebook Live.